All right, welcome back. It's Friday Night Live, and I'm glad that you're joining me. I had a little bit of a delay just setting up my shot, so to speak. It's interesting when you change your locations, when you're trying to set up a camera, in my case a cell phone, and get the lighting at least decent so that I'm not all shadowed up. And so anyway, this is going to be kind of on a quicker side because my car is getting really hot. Hi, Bernadette. So, I thought that I would talk about heartfelt communicating today because what I like to do is pay attention to trends that are going on in my life and just what others are reflecting to me. Yuko, hi, I'm so glad you're here. Talking about, hot in the car. There's a real hot shot badminton player right there, my friend Yuko. She's awesome, travels internationally and competes internationally. That's so cool. So, what I was talking about as far as noticing trends, there has to be a lot of focus on being compassionate these days and being real patient. Yes, from Glasgow. Nurse Yuko from visiting to Glasgow, competing, huh? Oh, I lost my train of thought with my superhero over there, my superhero badminton player. Right, so what I wanted to get at is that with all the confusion and massive communications that happen, it's really important for us to be as compassionate and patient as we can. And I keep seeing this exemplified day after day after day in my own personal interactions and what I witness others go through. And so I thought it was a good time to remind ourselves, when we're communicating with one another and we want to get what we want, we need to be clear. What is our purpose? What is our intention? What's the best way that we can get that point across to somebody? But others don't always hear things the way that we want them to hear what we're thinking and what we're trying to get across. And so we have to be compassionate at the same time and patient while someone else is processing what we are thinking is coming across really clearly. And I just noticed that a lot of people have frustration going on. I think with world events, I keep kind of bringing that up, pulling that up because, and we're here on social media, it's kind of hard to avoid seeing posts like a lot of negative posts, a lot of things going on. And so that's why I'm here doing my best to bring in positivity. T says, great reminder. Thank you. Yes. Thank you for being here. So we can be clear and honest in what it is that we want to get across, and then we have to allow a little bit of softness for allowing that somebody else just might not be getting it because their mind is working differently from ours and they have other tensions that are going on in their outside life. And so it's just important to and what's a way of being compassionate. You can be when I say heartfelt, that doesn't mean that you have to be all lovey-dovey when you're talking with people, but if you're speaking from your true self, your authenticity, that cuts through so much of the fog that's out there. And it really, people can hear that better. So when you are speaking your truth and what you believe is the truth going on in the circumstances around you, then people can hear you better. And I'm thinking of one situation with a patient recently, and I know that she's bounced around with different practitioners, and she's met with, strain, and I think that she has some issues going on, maybe some mental issues, but definitely some life circumstances that are going on that makes life not so easy for her. And so she has this expectation that people are against her, is my interpretation. And what I noticed is that when I sat with her and listened to what she said, and I don't want to let somebody else just, you can't let people just go on and on and on and on, repeating the same thing over and over and over again if you're on a time constraint, like in my situation when you're treating a patient. So, you want to allow for what feels like an appropriate amount of time for discussion, and then you can take the reins. And what I was able to do was reflect to her what her questions were and what her concerns were, and then make sure that I heard her right and she said yes, and then show her again, tell her what my opinions were, and she kept asking the same questions and wanted me to keep showing her what I was showing her. And after a while, you kind of figure that 2 and 2 doesn't always equal 4 for other people. And so, you know, after a while, I realized, well, we're not going to get very far, so it's time to wrap it up. And that doesn't mean that I'm, you know, there's no condemnation that's happening. It's just that I think that if people are used to you coddling and, you know, oh, you know, I'm so sorry that things aren't going well for you, and when you do that, and when you overdo that, then they kind of pull out of their adult self, and they have a harder time communicating and a harder time getting what it is that they want, because people will turn themselves off. And so when you can speak to someone like an adult who is an adult and you know, just draw limits, draw boundaries, it's amazing how they'll respond to that. And so in this case, this person seemed to eventually decide that it was okay, it was acceptable, and yes, we'll set up another appointment for another time. So I thought that was just an example, you know, of ways that, you know, you can surprise somebody by listening to them, and but don't neglect to pay attention to your own personal needs, your business needs, your work environment needs, your family needs, whatever is the situation at hand. And you can still, you know, find a way that everyone involved can get what they want. So that's my message for this Friday evening. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend with whatever celebrating you're going to be doing, and resting well, and hopefully having great visits with meaningful people in your life. And thanks for joining me. It's so good to see you here. Share this video and like my Facebook page. Invite others to do so. You know, you can do that. You can invite friends to like a page. That would be really cool if you would do that. Let's get more people like us. Yay, woohoo! Bernadette sending kisses too. Back at you. So, and you can also find me on YouTube. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. So have an awesome, awesome weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye.